Start of the day.
Charlotte did.
Oh, great, thank you, Becky. Oh.
Did we get a federal earmark? Is that-
Becky, this is. Yeah, I just wanted to have it. I just want a thumbs up from someone on the screen that they can hear us.
Yep.
Okay.
Said yes, great.
So I'm gonna make that adjustment. I think. Can't see that over there. Low. And. Perfect. Okay, we call ourselves to order. Okay. So let's review the agenda. So we have, first of all, our usual public comment. At 6:10, we're gonna review our select board minutes.
I'm sorry, there's only the 5-7 for today.
Okay.
The others are in progress, but they will be all cut up at the next meeting.
Okay. Then we have at 6:15, ECAC to review committee charge with the select board, and ask for the aggregation broker. 6:35, an update on the EV charger proposal. 6:40, Forest Ally solar presentation, although there was a bit of an alteration in their presentation. 6:50, town administrator updates, and at 7 o'clock, we're gonna meet with the library building committee, library trustees, and FinCom to review the new library bid opening. And anything that we need to do that. So, is there anything that has come up since, or do either of you, Rita or Eric, have anything that you'd like to jump in? Becky, you didn't have anything additional? No.
Yeah, the only thing I was gonna ask Becky is just for an update on the class action suit. I know you were gonna, on the PFAS.
Yep.
You're gonna follow up on that.
I have no update, but I can do that.
Okay. So let's open it up to public comment. If you have public comment, please raise your hand features on your. Anyone have public comment? Does anyone in the room have public comment? Okay. Penelope, I see your hand. Do you have public comment?
I do, just as we anticipate the big bid opening coming later in the meeting, I just wanted to say and to express my appreciation for the hard work that's gone in to date on this. I just think that the Library Building Committee has done an amazing job of working hard, working with all sorts of different groups and keeping us well informed. So I just want to say thank you very much.
Becky, can you make me a co-host? Does anyone else have a public comment? Shall we review the minutes from 5-7?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes of May 7th, 2024.
Second.
Okay. Any edits or clarifications?
Yeah, they were
No,
good.
they're good.
All right, all in favor of approving minutes?
Farrell, aye.
Stuck around.
Make O'Neill, aye. Okay, well, we have a couple of minutes before, Becky, do you have any updates we can do? For
I can give
finance?
an update on the admin secretary position. I, at Rita's suggestion, called Geneva about 10 days ago, and she said she might have some time on Friday, and she came in last Friday for, it turned out to be more than 3 hours. She took home stuff to catch up on minutes, and we've gone through the whole appointment list, and she's starting in on all the reappointment letters, which is wonderful. And of course, having this uplifting help, I received a resume today from a potential candidate for the position.
that's
So things are looking up.
And did that resume look promising?
I haven't had much time to look
Yeah.
at it today, but it has potential for sure.
So this is just Geneva helping us out, not,
Yes.
Well, she gets paid.
no, I know, I know she gets paid.
Yeah, she's not just, yeah. She
Not
has some other
right,
more favorite places to spend her Fridays, but
right, that's, well,
No, it's great that she was
it's
willing to
wonderful.
come
I
in.
was really
no, that's
happy.
great.
Yeah.
Okay, any others? There's a couple more minutes.
Okay, well, building updates. The bathroom door, Chris and I found locked, last week. Mysteriously, we did our best to open it and we couldn't. So I called and left a message with the Amherst locksmith and the door opened.
Spontaneously?
Well, when Chris and I were looking at it tonight, but they didn't check, I don't know when they were here.
Oh, I
I
see.
believe Amherst locksmith they did
Oh,
come,
okay.
and it was probably Friday or today when I was running around. But it's
So let-
wonderful news,
that's
we
John
have
Fuller,
another
right?
restroom available to everyone.
Yeah.
Especially good news for ahead of our all boards meeting. And I have been advocating at the committees I've been at for a bake-off by committee at the all boards meeting, and I'm getting a pretty positive response so far.
Becky, it's not on the calendar.
The all boards meeting?
It's not on the calendar for the 11th.
Okay,
And then I haven't seen an invitation.
I've sent two.
Did you send one to the Conservation Commission? Because Walter said he hadn't received one.
I didn't get
The Conservation Commission?
No, I mean, cemetery, sorry.
I will check.
Suzie, you
Who's
haven't
on
seen
the
it?
list? No, I did it to all the department heads. I don't have a list that does all 150 people.
Well, it should have been to all the board chairs, right?
Right,
And nobody forwarded it to you, Suzie?
and I don't have any.
But we did have a discussion about it at our meeting.
Oh.
Yeah, they talked all about it, and the meetings I've been at, the chairs have been bringing it up and asking for feedback on the issue.
Let's put it on the calendar.
Yeah, Grace, she normally does that for me, so she didn't do it this time, so I will do that.
So that's next week?
Yes, it is.
I
Next
know.
Tuesday.
I believe.
So in the future, the future is here.
Is there members of ECAT here?
Nate,
Gail?
Isaac
Gail.
and Dale are both here,
But Michael's.
and Mateo is here.
Yeah.
Nate,
Oh, it's
Nate.
Nate, not Mateo.
Yeah.
Mateo's on this. And
Well, Mateo is free to join ECAC if he is interested.
There we go.
One more committee.
cross-pollination.
where's Michael?
No Michael yet.
No,
He's
Michael.
coming though, you do expect him? Oh, look at Mateo's crying.
Becky,
Okay, so
can
5 more minutes.
Can we just talk about the old boards meeting since we have this
Yes.
opportunity? Because we've gone around discussing whether or not we were going to talk about one topic at the old boards meeting or have everybody give updates, and I'm not sure where we landed.
That we would have maybe 15 minutes or 20 on the one topic, and then I think you said up to 5 minutes, between 2 and 5 minutes for everyone else to speak.
Okay. And the one topic is about the hybrid meetings.
Yes, the
right?
future of Zoom meetings, hybrid and remote. I'm sorry, and in person.
Right. And then I had asked Paul, although Paul Lyons, I haven't spoken to him just to give a really brief update on and he can do that as a committee report, right? So
Yeah,
really
as a
brief.
moderator.
Okay.
Clickers.
And the clicker study, yeah. I'll just make sure he's
Look at her
coming.
ticket.
Yeah.
Oh, that was police funded.
Yeah.
I see Michael has joined us.
Oh, great.
Okay. We are, does ECAC want to call themselves or do you guys have a forum?
Oh, yeah, now we do. Yay. So I'll call the ECAC to order at 6:11. Thank you, Melissa. Appreciate that.
Okay. And you're here to review the committee chart specifically with the relationship with us and you, and then seek approval for community choice aggregation program.
Correctamundo.
Where would
you
you like to?
Why don't we do it in reverse order? Because I think that's a little bit, the first thing's a little bit more concrete. So with the community choice aggregation, where we left it a long time ago was there was a few firms, I think there were 3 in total that were possible. And we came, we had a conversation with you guys, and then I think Nate talked to Becky. We ended up sending out a questionnaire to the possible firms to basically, so not doing a formal procurement, but more a due diligence process. So we sent out a list of questions that Nate developed, and he's been communicating with them, has been our point person to ascertain who we'd want to go with for our broker in developing community choice aggregation. I'll leave it to Nate to summarize in case you have questions, but I think the winner was Colonial. That's what we recommended. And so what we sent you guys was the letter with the recommendation from us to you all, and then Colonial's response to Nate's question. So you had a sense of what it was. I think where we're at now, based on our shared understanding, was that it's really for the planning, for the select board to agree to go forward and sort of say, yes, we want to go with Colonial, and then I think empower Becky to sign off on that contract. And then once the contract's signed, Nate can pick up again and take the lead on sort of the operational pieces. But Nate, do you want to fill in anything just for context or understanding?
Well, I think that's a good summary. I mean, if there are questions from anyone, I'd be happy to field them. But I thought that was a pretty good summary of a process by which we engaged the various actors in this space, and then we're encouraged to engage Colonial from one, and the other was unresponsive to our entreaties, and then finally Colonial themselves were very enthusiastic to engage us. So that's how we sort of arrived at this recommendation, all of which is detailed in that letter.
You all have any questions?
It looked like Colonial's references were good from the other communities. You sort of included that in your packet of materials. So you spoke to other towns. So this
I would sing Nate's praises in
right?
category.
I'm sorry, Michael. I just was saying this is a contract that doesn't involve any cost to the community. It's simply we're picking this company as our aggregator. Okay.
We don't ever have anything that has no cost to it.
We don't usually sign contracts like that.
Right, I know, right?
I have one other question. Where do we stand with regard to the issues around the municipal light plant and community aggregation?
Nate, you want to answer that?
They said that was fine in this letter.
Okay, so I missed that.
So that there's an answer to that question in Colonial Power Group's response to our questions to them. I can quickly
Yeah, it says that the
just
town is
looking at it.
absolutely eligible to offer a municipal aggregation program to its residents and small businesses. The only municipalities who are unable to petition the state for approval are those whose electricity is provided by a municipal light plant. So like Chicopee or Holyoke, they make their own electricity.
Yeah.
And that was Donna's original assessment. And then as we discussed at ECAC, we figured if Colonial was giving that response, they know the field best because they're actually working with the towns and they're working with DPU. So it seemed prudent to just go along because others are already doing it.
Okay,
Yes,
but
they
yeah,
are.
I knew that somebody had raised
Yeah,
it. And,
yeah.
Okay, all right,
They're
good.
saying it's a problem, but
Okay, so,
people are doing it, so,
you need
unless they
a,
don't approve you.
you need a vote to, for the select board to sign a contract with Colonial Power Group. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I will make a motion that the Shutesbury Select Board execute a contract with Colonial Power Group to be our energy broker. Is that sufficient?
I think so.
Nate gave you the thumbs up.
Okay,
Second.
Any further questions? All right, all in favor?
Carol, aye.
Stalker eye.
Makepeace O'Neill, aye. Okay.
Great. So I think just before moving to the next one, so the next steps are, I think Nate and Becky will just connect and do the operational piece. But thank you very much for that. We'll gladly move forward and then we'll report back on progress. So shifting to the other topic, I think this came to light for us when we realized that we had to pull the warrant article for town meeting because we didn't have the public hearing. And so if you all recall, when ECAC got created, the way the charge read was that we'd be making recommendations to the select board about, the MVP and the hazard mitigation plan, et cetera, et cetera. And so our working assumption, definitely mine at the outset going up until now, is that we were really working on behalf or for the select board. We were making recommendations. And I think that's where the gap of the public hearing occurred, because we ended up making a recommendation to you all to move that warrant article forward. And I think you had a different perception of what we were doing. So no one ever said who's going to do the public hearing, who's checking. And so that was like a big aha. And so I think what our recommendation would be, if it's okay with you, but we should talk it through, if not, is after operating for 2 years that we now get deemed to be all grown up committee, just like all the other committees. And so we would do what everyone else does. So if there's a warrant article, we would bring it to you, but we'll have done all the due diligence and we'll feel free to sort of do a public hearing. If there's other things like that we can sort of do independently within our realm of responsibility, we would do it and then just sort of check in accordingly, which feels a little bit different from how we've been operating, which is all we really should do is be thinking about stuff and making a recommendation for the select board, who then has to decide if we should go forward or not. So I don't know if that parses the situation clearly enough for you to understand, but it seems like we want to be able to go forward and not have these gaps created unintentionally. And I got to say, just knowing your agendas are so full. Like if we can bring less to you in a timely fashion and just sort of, that might be just operationally better, but that's what we're asking about.
sure.
But of course it is.
So I went back and reviewed the original charge, and honestly, when I read it, I drafted this thing when I first did it, and I was kind of surprised that there was that much kind of coming back to the select board. So I think it's a excellent idea to kind of give the committee some more autonomy. But I think if we're going to do that, we should probably tweak the language in the original charge. Yeah. I don't know if we want to do that tonight. I don't think it's an issue. It just takes a little bit of like going back over this and making sure it's, that everything doesn't come back to the select board. We have, as you say, enough on our plate. And as far as the public hearing goes, I had no idea there needed to be a public hearing. So I think that was part of the, I don't think we
No.
left that.
No,
that-
and I'll own it. You know, like, as you all know, like, I've done enough of these policies that need public hearings that if I thought we did, I would have done it. And I just didn't think that far down the line because I was like, oh, we have to recommend and then we'll figure out how it goes. So I think this is exactly symptomatic of that lack of clarity. So I don't think you guys did anything wrong. Like, you didn't drop the ball. No one knew who was holding the ball was the problem.
Right.
So if that, what do you
Is
think?
the language simply done maybe by adding another bullet to it where it just says that the ECAC will, you know, go,
Yeah,
you know, go with
maybe,
the ball.
yeah, it might be just within the charge. I mean, a lot within the charge, a lot of it is saying, you know, study and make recommendations, review, prioritize recommendations. So I think we just need to acknowledge that the committee can act on its own with regard to,
Presenting and.
yeah.
Articles.
Well, if you have some ideas, and we could do, I don't see it's a problem to do this at our next meeting, just revise the language, is that?
Yeah, I think this conversation is what needed to happen. The language stuff is less important, I think. So, you know, if Rita, if you wanted to play with it and work and send it to us, we could just do it via email.
Okay,
Yeah, the reality is we're not going anywhere, and you have to
Right.
reappoint us because we all want to come back. So I think when we get to language that you like and you approve, you can just say, hey, ECAC, this is your revised charge, and we'll just keep marching along. So it'd be nice to do it in a timely fashion, but I don't think we have to do it tonight. And I don't even think there's, you know, a rush for next, you know, 2 weeks from now either, just like maybe before the end of the fiscal year.
no, we need to get.
Yeah, should have been done yesterday.
Right. No, we'll get it done, we'll have it for our next meeting. You know, it's just doing some editing.
Right.
Becky, you had.
The 17th is pretty full. I just didn't want to set up meeting with a committee and spending 15 minutes at that meeting because the 17th will be full. If we get it done ahead, that's great.
Yeah, I think it's just a question of us adopting and you sending edits back to ours and then us just agreeing. But we don't need to meet. We don't need to have another joint committee.
Perfect.
So
That sounds great.
if you have any suggestions, if you want to forward them to me, and I'll work on this.
The one comment I would make, or suggestion or question, I guess, would be, what about the thing we just approved? I mean, I assume the select board still have to approve any contracts that come out.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I agree.
This feels like procedural.
Yeah, procedural for sure.
Yeah, I think anything that has a big impact, we at minimum want to present our thinking and share it with you. You know, stuff regarding town meeting, warrant articles, anything financial, of course, we got to bring to you.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. Gail has a question, I guess.
But it wouldn't hurt to specify in the case, you know, contracts do this way. If they're warrant articles, yes, we must get permission from select board to put the bus board, but then it is incumbent upon us to hold the public forums that ever, if they are so required.
Right. Yeah, public forums and hearings.
And they're not always required. There are certain conditions where they are required.
Yeah.
When required.
Yes, I was just gonna write that. Thank you, Melissa. When required. Is there anything else that you see you're being held back by virtue of the current charge?
No, I mean, I think, you know, just our approach has been increasingly, can we come up with actions or approaches that impact the whole town? You know, so just as an example, we had a recent conversation with the Green Communities representative about, you know, maybe moving away from solar and thinking about heat pumps. So we would want to work with other committees. I don't think we have to be able, like, that would be a good example. We're gonna have to get permission from the select board to work with the building committee or go to capital planning, but clearly you should know if we're gonna be doing that. So I think it's just a heads up, either to you or to Becky, to know that we're doing that kind of stuff. But I don't, with this clarified, I don't think we're being held back at all. This was unforeseen. And now it's clarified, so I'm very appreciative.
Okay.
Great. Okay,
I'll move, should I get motion to adjourn and we can get out of your hair?
sure, but feel free to stick around too.
Yes.
Anyone want to move to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Thank you, Gail. Second,
I'll second.
any comments? Hearing none. Isaac, how do you vote?
Aye.
Gail,
Aye.
Nate,
Aye.
Em and I, we are officially adjourned. Thank you,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, EV charger update.
Our famous charger.
Really?
All right, so we went back to the library to find out their concerns. Their concern was whether it would be required to be always used as by an electric car. And no, it is, we set how it's to be used. If we want an ADA electric car spot, we can assign it as an ADA. We can allow non-electric cars to park there. It's all up to the select, our discretion on that issue, which was the lingering question from the library. And at this moment, they appear to have about a third of the funds left if we were to apply. And again, what would happen is if we moved ahead on these proposals, both of which are over $400,000, and the town would not be charged anything. It should be at zero cost to the town. And if we sign and then they process the paperwork, if we end up having our paperwork hit and there is no more National Grid funding for this project, or it's been reduced or changed, then it would come back to us and we could withdraw at that point or pursue our $400,000 electric chargers if we wanted, but we wouldn't do that. We would say, no, thank you, but there is a mechanism in place that if anything's changed on their end that would trigger cost to the town, we can withdraw immediately at that point. So it's for the select board to ponder if you're comfortable moving ahead with this proposal. They are a National Grid vendor. Yes, they are more, most of their clientele is in New York State. At this point, they do have some Massachusetts clients as well. I haven't gotten an updated list of who they might be. Whatever questions you have, I'm happy to pursue answers to.
I have one.
Yes.
So it's free to get, install, and whatever. What is the maintenance cost of it? So if something breaks, who fixes it? And what is the cost to fix it?
That's a very good point. I will find that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now, I believe for the first 5 years, it's under warranty, but I will confirm that.
What is maintenance after 5 years? Because that's when things will start to go.
And there might be something that's not covered by that warranty.
Is it bumper to bumper?
Yeah, we need to ask all. All right.
And this is still for 2 chargers, right? That's the one in the library.
It is for 2 charger stands. Each charger really has 2 units.
Right.
They cover 2 different parts.
Okay.
So the maintenance cost, warranty, and is it bumper to bumper?
Yeah, and what is the, what costs have they experienced after the 5 years? Because
After the
that's
5 years,
usually when a
Yeah.
car will start to show its aging parts and they're no longer warranted, right? So, or anything that's warranted, they always, there's a sweet spot.
What they say is after 5 years, that's when you would pay $300 a year for the software that you charge. You know, that's how we get the money from if people use the charger. You know, you put in dollar bills or credit cards.
And how many cars does it take to get to that $300?
How many what?
How many cars does it take to recoup that $300?
Okay.
In fees? And are we likely to have those $300? Are we likely to have that number of people using it to pay for it? They should be able to tell you how many cars it will to hit zero on your fees.
Yeah.
Because if we're paying $300 a year for software and we're not getting that back in, then we're just paying for it to keep it.
Yeah.
It's more symbolic than it is.
What is the fee structure? I'm trying to recall. Do we get part of so the electricity is coming from us?
So so we get paid, we get money, we charge, you know, when people use it, they pay to use it.
Right, and that all comes to us.
I think it comes to us, is it net of the electricity?
Yes, it would be.
Yeah, it was net of the
my sense is we
electricity.
can charge what we want, but we have to pay for electricity.
Yes,
So we can make it a profit-making.
Not if you have 1 or 2 cars.
Well, no, we're saying,
You need a certain number of cars.
demand.
Yeah.
right, you can be paying 27 cents a kilowatt and charge 35, let's just say.
Right, yeah, no, I
That's
understand.
remember that.
Yeah, and it'll take a long time to make up the $300.
Oh, yeah, the $300.
Was there any other fees related, software, anything else?
No, the software fee was, and then the cost of electricity, that's billed by National Grid. All right, so I gotta find out the maintenance,
Yeah, maintenance costs.
and are they covered potentially by fees after 5 years, what the warranty is, and is it bumper to bumper?
How long do they last? I suppose that's a
Yes, the age.
What's their
Age.
census
Average age?
average age or something?
So what he just asked, so you want to know maintenance costs, like maybe an annual maintenance cost, if there is one at 5 years and one at 10 years. How much would it have cost to maintain it for 5? How much will it cost to maintain for 10? For things that it might need parts, they'll know which parts run out fast.
So for 5 years. Okay. And then we'll talk about it one more time.
Yeah, really, that'd be exciting.
And Becky, in the very small print, it says, by signing this proposal, we agree to sign, also need to agree and sign a scope of work agreement, which will be presented after site verification has taken place.
So they will come out and do a site review, like here they'll figure out the location where they can put it. We had originally allocated the 2 spots that are next to the retaining wall when we were thinking about doing it before. I think that still has the electric power sufficient. It was run to that corner, so we should be able to hook in there.
So the scope of work, and they'll also break down exactly what they have to do, like
Yeah.
cement pad and all that, be everything.
And if it's the 3-phase power, we don't have 3-phase power currently to this building, so they'll have to
Right,
run
they'll
the
include that.
3-phase power through the building? I don't know, so that'd be it'll all be determined when they come out and walk the project and the engineers will get it.
And then is there any issue with the timing? I assume that they would wanna do both the installation at the same time so that the library was done. So is that gonna be an issue if the library goes into construction this summer?
It won't be ready to do the
Right.
installation until they're prepping the parking
driveway.
lot and before they pave, so it'll be next spring. And I talked to him about that
You
time.
did, okay, and that was not a problem?
No, he said once we submit the paperwork, if we get a approval of that, we're locked in.
I see,
So the timing, if it's a new build,
okay,
we're locked in so that by next spring, if the program doesn't exist, we're locked in.
okay. So the money, it's reserving, the money can be reserved.
Yes, it's being committed.
Does the new
to
library
us.
have free-phase power?
It wouldn't
Yes.
take us
Or
a
do you
while.
have it anyway?
I believe, yes. Mary Ann told me that some of them, they were able to include new technology, so the three-phase power for the
Alright.
heating system or something. So I believe they're using three-phase, it saved them money. Boy, did we get lucky on the three-phase power. It's good it came through.
Okay, so this is gonna be on the 17th too?
This will be
This
the
would be
flex
fast, you'll have
item.
the answers.
Oh, yeah, and I'll just have that contract for you to sign.
Right.
Actually, why don't you email us the answers to those
Yeah.
questions so we can mull them over?
Yes.
Yeah,
That way we're more prepared to.
yeah. We don't have to have a long discussion.
Right.
And don't hesitate to ask me follow-up questions after I give
Well,
my
I won't know
answers.
until I see that.
I know, but after
Okay.
that,
Yeah.
just so
Okay.
that if there's more I can ask ahead of the meeting.
And Eric, you were the one who, you had spoken with them, right?
Yeah.
And you were fine with,
Yeah, I mean,
See
Becky
them
certainly
Monday.
spoken with them more than I have, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It's the 17th.
Yeah, they were fine. I mean,
Is it Eric?
like, you're talking to salesmen, right? What are they gonna-
Right, exactly, yeah.
right,
They're just gonna tell you what, I mean, there's a invite to it, and it's free, you know, oh, yeah, okay.
Well, initially,
Yeah, right.
feels like there's some costs.
Oh, yeah, no, they
That's
cost
the
them
point.
start sneaking in.
Yeah.
It's still pretty cheap if at least what we have know about now.
Right.
It's cheap.
Yeah.
But if one of those parts we have to replace is $20,000, it's all over.
That's
Right.
right, well, there you go.
I guess you abandoned it.
Not a lot of marketing words. Get yourself hard.
No, but it's electronic, like the elevator went out when an electrical board got hit by lightning. I don't know.
Is there lightning rods on any, like, we really should put them on. That
Oh,
might-
there is one on this building. There's a few.
Okay. There really should be lightning rods and everything. Okay, let's see, what else do we have? I think we're up to,
It's here.
yes, the Forest Allies Responsible Solar Presentation.
All right.
Well, not much.
Well,
A
pre-presentation.
little.
Pre-presentation.
Pre-presentation.
Well, that is what it is, actually. Funny you should say that. So yes, we had I think when we drafted that letter, we had incomplete information. I thought that, well, legislators are taking public comment all along, but I thought it was like much closer to a vote. And in fact, just today I learned, oh no, we have till the end of July. Well, the legislative session ends at the end of July, and that they'll be working on this
Right
up to that. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
think if any action gets taken, we should wait until, say, July 30th, but there is more time. I thought it was like June 30th or something. So we pulled that back, and I realized, as I was thinking about this, that I'm not really quite sure how to proceed with the citizens petition. I'm not sure when the last one was in town that passed.
We usually have them every year.
Lots of them.
Well,
Oh,
lots
okay,
of them.
okay.
And I don't remember in my 8 years here, the select board doing anything.
Being asked to do something.
right, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
maybe
being
that's
asked
what
to
I was thinking.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
they come up in our
You know,
meetings,
they sort of live, you know, I think in some cases, Becky, correct me if I'm wrong, I think we may have sent it to the legislature that it had been voted by our citizens with a letter.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
and we can
that's,
certainly do that.
well, we were wondering, first of all, like,
Yeah.
if you've had a chance to think about it and if, what you're thinking of how you would proceed.
So one of the things we can do is that, you know, send it to the legislature with a letter saying, you know, a town meeting citizen petition was brought before us, this was, right, and this, it passed, and send the vote count to them, I mean, that's something we can do.
And what we had, my group, talking about this, had talked about sort of getting language for you. I mean, that's sort of what that letter was that I initially sent to you. And then we realized that the things that are being voted on are still kind of, I don't know how to say it, like a moving target. I mean,
Right.
they're still debating
Right.
this stuff, and I thought, oh, that was a surprise to me when I found that out. So, once it gets a little bit more solid, which I hope will be soon, actually next Monday, I'm gonna be coming to the Aaron Saunders, either him or his representative, and then,
They're moving it, just so you know.
Oh, I just talked
got
to
an
his
email
office.
from them, and they're
Oh.
not getting here until 1 o'clock.
okay.
Not Monday still?
I think it's the same Monday, but they want to change to
1
1
o'clock.
to 2:30.
One,
They used to be, they said
1
they,
hour.
I think they said, let me double check it.
yeah, gee, that's funny, because I
It
just
came
talked to them
in
the other
and-
day. And I know they go to the Pelham Library at some point, that sounds like it overlaps. One way or another, either here in or in Pelham, I intend to talk to him or his representative, and then Joe Comerford is also speaking Monday evening. So we hope that will give us at least a little bit of a better idea of what's going on. But there's a lot being debated. I just sat through a day of a forum. UMass had another solar forum that was pretty comprehensive, and my brain is a little bit
Yeah.
fried, which it all, I mean, this is somewhat confusing and confounding to me anyways, and I'm learning a lot, but that too definitely gave me a sense of that this is still ongoing. But yeah, we were curious how we could help you, because in general, I wanted to say this at town meeting and it didn't exactly come out because of the other discussion and all this stuff. But we do feel like we want to try to support you, the select board, as the lawsuit is coming up or whatever you need to do, that we would like to try to set up some kind of supportive relationship, I guess. And then at today's meeting, so the forum today was really to talk about the recommendations from this Governor's Commission on siting infrastructure and siting solar. So a big part of what they were talking about is what they call community engagement. And even that's kind of unclear to me right now. It's really a balance between what the state is going to be in control of, what they're going to give communities control of, how to balance the need to, mitigate climate change and this need for these installations. So one thought I had, I was really listening closely today to some of the organizations that represent this community engagement side of it, and you probably know some of them. I mean, I was taking notes to get ready, but Allison Gage from the Franklin County the Franklin County Council
Of
of
governments?
Governments.
Yes.
Yeah, we know.
I
Yeah.
thought she had some really good ththings to say.
Yeah.
The Mass Municipal Association people had some good things to say. Some of them have like roadmaps of how do you bring the community into this? And I thought, wow, that's kind of interesting, and maybe that in some way is a role that we could at least help with, as being one element of the community. So would you, I guess my one question is if you would feel more comfortable with us giving you some language of what you could consider saying to the legislatures once we have a better idea of what they're actually voting on? I mean, how do you want to go forward is the question.
Yeah, what was your sense of the timing? I wasn't able to go today. I really wanted to attend, but it was too much time.
It was,
I see you, Michael, hold on. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm hoping
Oh,
that it's,
okay.
I'm hoping it's
I'm sure Michael
it's
will have it.
available.
It's on.
It will be available.
Yeah.
I heard several times they were saying 5 or 6 weeks, which, that takes us to the end of July.
Right.
I'm assuming that, like I said, I don't think we want to wait till the end of July. I don't quite understand how your timeline works, like what kind of time you need for it to be discussed, written.
That's another one of my
Well, I
questions.
think, you know, we could straightforward right now forward a letter to the legislators, yeah, with exactly what
What we voted on.
transpired,
Yeah.
and if there, you know, if we decide there should be some follow-up, but at least I think it would be documentation that town meeting, this was the town meeting vote, and I don't know if it was unanimous or close to unanimous, what the count was.
I have it written down, strongly passed or something
yeah.
like that,
It was
clearly
not
passed.
unanimous, but it was
Wasn't
not
unanimous.
counted, which was unfortunate.
Oh, it wasn't counted.
Not
Oh,
counted.
okay.
We can tell them how many voters or people were there, right? Because we have the number of voters that checked in.
Not at the end of the time.
No,
Well, if
people-
I-
yeah,
You don't know
I
what the population was at the end.
They had a, it seemed like they had this gradation, and I believe it says closely passed or something. I mean, he had different definitions for some of the different bills, I happened to notice.
I do
At the
see
minutes.
Michael's hand, so
Yeah,
I want him to get in. Go ahead, Michael.
Not to get into the details of it, but the short answer of timing is the governor's commissioner released their report at the end of March. There's a House bill, H 4501, that's currently in play that it seems like it's going to get revised. It's technically a House Ways and Means, but really the Joint Committee on Telecommunications, Utilities, and Energy, with TUE, is the brain trust that's moving it forward. There's not currently a Senate bill. Senator Barrett's the Senate co-chair, and so I would expect, based on what, you know, just the timing of what I'm hearing, that the Senate version will come out in the next few weeks, and, you know, then there'll be some kind of vote and then conference committee, et cetera, et cetera. So I think they will push the end of July deadline to get something if they do it. The two substantive things I would just share for the select board, and if ever you want to talk about it more, we can. And this is not related to the town meeting vote, because clearly people didn't know about this, but the two issues I think that are a concern, the governor's commission recommended that projects of a certain size, 25 megawatts or larger, would go to a statewide office that would do state permitting, and everything underneath 25 megawatts would stay at the local level. But the actual legislation in play, H 4501, by my interpretation and others' interpretation, it would take every clean energy project, regardless of size and type, and put it at the state house, state office building. So that's really a huge shift, so that municipalities wouldn't have permitting control. And that would include, as far as the language I interpreted as to be, planning boards, ZBAs, Concoms, and boards of health. So not just the planning board. And then the other thing that's just worth noting is both the governor's commission and the legislation, their whole idea is, how do we expedite development of clean energy? And so one of the other issues is they're both recommending consolidated permitting on the local level, which is unclear how that would work. You know, as I heard them talk today, I was sort of imagining, having just gotten a building permit from FERCog, you know, that to get a building permit, the Board of Health has to sign off and the Concom might have to sign off. But if you actually had to have multiple towns and boards working together to create a consolidated permit, I don't think, you know, you guys, like, you know, living with open meeting law, I don't quite know how it would work. And there's all these committees are, you know, guided by statute. So it seems really complicated. It seems like it's a really nice concept at the state level for them to think about, but practically implemented on the local level, there's a lot of weeds to get through. So just, there's a lot of moving parts, but just as an FYI.
Thank you.
Yeah, so those are some of the things that I wanted to find out about a little bit more. I mean, it definitely what he said, but I mean, Joe Comerford was a leader of today's thing, so I think that she would, in the next week or 2 or 3, be able to give us something. But yeah, I mean, certainly our petition could get sent to them.
I think at a minimum, we could start with that and forward that along to the legislators.
Okay.
And then revisit this. So was there timing about a Senate bill, Michael?
It should be in the next few weeks, but no one committed to anything. So it sounds like the House bill will get revised in the coming weeks, presumably, you know, it's June. So they got it, has to be something in place soon for the Senate to actually get into the game. And I know they want to be in the game. So by the end of June, there should be a Senate bill as well.
Okay,
I don't understand. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. All right, so why
so,
don't we do that piece first?
yeah.
Okay.
We'll send a letter and
Okay,
then.
well,
And then let's hear back as soon as there's, we get some more definitive information about where this is going.
Okay, so one question I had too was you meet through the summer, I take it, you go. So, and it sounds like your next meeting is going to be very
Yes,
busy.
yeah.
And I might not have anything for you by then anyways, but.
You can
maybe-
always email us when you get something too, so we can
Okay,
get it ahead of time.
okay, that's good to
You might
know.
want to do a research to do a little bit, you know.
Yeah, no, and I could email it, and then, I think I had, I heard back from Becky when I initially emailed,
Yeah,
and
we
I did
can't
like to get you
respond in a group,
robo
yeah.
thing, but I was a little surprised, but then I get it, yeah, okay, so I can email you and know that you're at least seeing things, and, which is good. Okay, I think that's it for this evening.
Yeah.
So
thank you for-
Who's gonna write that letter?
Becky, you're comfortable with
Yeah.
what it, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I can put that together.
But it will basically just be our, citizen
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah.
So,
And we'll
And
introduce what it is.
Also, the certified copy of it, so they first certify an
Well, no, you're
official
supposed to take
copy
one and pass
and
them
include that with the record.
Okay.
So-
But, you know, the copy from like town meeting,
The town clerk will certify
Okay.
a copy so that what they receive will be very official.
vote for, how you move forward with your online versus, the acoustics in here are very bad. I
They
decided
are.
to come in person because I was afraid
We
I would
figured
miss
out
something.
some-
And I still just missed something.
Yeah, we
'cause I-
figured out a couple of settings
Okay.
that worked well this
Yeah.
last time, so we'll
Because
do
I
the
know the
recording.
last time I was online, I just stopped the meeting, I thought that's odd.
It's greatly improved.
No,
Try
okay.
it again.
Thank you,
Melissa
Jane.
figured it out.
Okay, I will, well,
All right, Becky, we have about 7 minutes. Can you do some of your updates in 7
Actually,
minutes?
I'll be right back. So I'm gonna do, I might not go 7 whole minutes, but,
Pick 2.
yeah. Okay, so the PFAS litigation, which we are, hoping to be part of, I have sent that off to Donna McNichol, and it is still in her contract pile. I have bugged her 3 times. But of course, I ask her a separate question every time I call, so it's not really helping her have time to get it done. So we do not have a response from Donna, and the litigation was a little questionable on whether, in the end, if a settlement wasn't large enough, we might in fact have to pay for fees that the lawyer originally is paying for. And I don't think we want to do that, so.
Becky, this was in reference to the town joining in a class action.
Yes,
Suit,
the
and you had done the
PFAS
research.
litigation, we've got a contract from what we think is the most viable vendor or lawyer that's involved because he's through, his attorney Fogel. It was recommended to us by our PFAS LSP, our licensed site professional. So it's out of the few that I researched, it seems the most attractive, but again, the contract is problematic. And we need Donna to review it before it's comfortable for the select board to sign. So that is on hold. And I just want, as far as town administrator updates, I just want to tell you about a couple of things the building committee has done. Our local, not our library building committee, but our regular town building committee. They just did the sill at the old town hall. They put in a new sill, I believe it's maple, is that right? No, mahogany. It's mahogany. So they did the chair went shopping and they found a beautiful piece of wood. They have a volunteer to work with them, who I won't brag about just because he's my brother, but he's been a carpenter his whole life, and he's helping Stephen. Stephen comes upon projects and buys the materials necessary, and Russ has been working to complete them, like the sump pump in the back room here, as well as the roof repair at the old schoolhouse by our real schoolhouse. And those are all projects that the building committee through Stephen Downes has taken on, as well as some others as they continue to work on their spreadsheet. The last meeting of the building committee was in this building, and they were exploring the wonders that make this building work, like our commercial dehumidifier that's running at the same time as our ERV is running. So I'm getting some pointers in how to reduce electricity and try to manage these big pieces of equipment that, that the ERV is new to the building and came in after the commercial dehumidifier. So we have some issues to solve in this building about energy for sure. And I'd like to close there.
Okay. Sounds good. All right. We don't have a quorum, so. Okay.
I see you're waiting.
Yes.
Okay. Thanks, Jane. Are any of the members participating remotely?
Possibly, is that Stephen? Is Stephen, he's on.
We don't know what Stephen.
Stephen, are you Stephen
Down.
Downless?
Stephen Downes is
Yeah,
here
he's
though.
Yeah,
There he is.
Stephen's there.
Okay, so
Okay.
Stephen's here. That is the only.
Breezy, are you Dale Pool?
Weezy, are you Dale Cool?
No.
Dang.
I mean, no. I'm in Shutesbury here and he's somewhere else. He should be joining. I know he's planning on being here.
Okay. Okay, I have
Penny is
1,
right.
2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we have a quorum. Would you like to call yourself to order?
But it's not.
It's not so.
No,
I know, it's not 7, but I'm just saying we have a
Yeah.
quorum. I was looking for you.
I'm coming.
And there's Molly. Okay, all right. As soon as our,
Would you like a chair over there,
Yeah, can I
Penny?
sit over there?
Yeah, we can put chairs over there.
so we all in the room have to remember to speak at the owl and not look at
to
the
the
TV.
owl.
So is someone sitting here?
No, that's you.
How are you doing? I haven't seen you in a long time. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah, sorry. It does.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
It's all yours.
And we may have Jeff, you don't, there's Molly, you don't want to come to the
Yeah, I
table?
mean, you know. Everybody thinks are in good shape.
Oh, you can, I can scoot over. We can get more, we can all get more cozy because all the committee needs to be here.
And somebody could.
You guys can sit toward the end too, even though your back would be to the camera. They'll still be able to see you. Because the camera's on the table, not from the table. Okay, it's 7 PM. I am going to call the library building committee to order. I am looking at our agenda and I would like to change the scheduling on our agenda. I would like to move the review and vote on minutes to the very end of our agenda
and public comments just before that, because I would like to start off with reviewing the construction bids and discussion with the Select Board and Finance Committee, because I'm assuming that that is why most of you folks are here.
Does the FinCom have to call itself to order?
I believe the FinCom does.
I don't be our chair, so we're calling the FinCom meeting to order at 7:05.
Okay. All
And,
right.
and the library trustees.
Hi, this is Kate with the library trustees. I don't see a quorum of us yet, so,
You do have a quorum here in the back of the room.
oh, I'm sorry, I can't see that. I apologize. Then
Yes, they're behind us.
then I'll call the library board of trustees also to order. Thank you all.
I'm gonna sneak in for a second. Those that are in the room, because we have that recorded of who's on our screen, we don't have who's in the room. So I'm gonna send around a sign up sheet, just put your name in print clearly.
Okay. So,
Elaine, can you identify all the members of the library? I would ask for each one of
the
the
library
committees.
building committee, I would be happy to identify.
Okay.
Our building committee is Marianne Antonellis, Stephen Dalmas, Brad Foster, Dale Hool, Penny Jakes, Molly Moss, Jeff Quackenbush, and I am the chair, Elaine Paleo. All right, so today at 2 o'clock, we were able to see and look at the construction bids for the library. As you may know, we were expecting that we would have something around a $6.150 million construction project. That was the cost estimate we had. We received 5 bids. The lowest bid was from Construction Dynamics Incorporated for $6,386,000. We received one from Cronenberg and Sons Restoration for $6,688,000. We received one from Kiter Builders Incorporated for $6,830,000. We received one from J&J Contractors Incorporated for $7,107,000. And we received one from D.A. Sullivan and Sons for $7,370,000.
Can you repeat that?
$7,370,000. So from there, would somebody like to put up, please, share the screen that I am going to explain from?
Who would?
And that would be George's
I just,
spreadsheet?
Can I just ask quickly what the process is tonight? I don't,
The process tonight is,
yeah.
we are
I'm
going
sorry,
to,
I'm trying to get it up, but
right
I got
now, what we're going to do is we're going to base, we have looked at spreadsheets, and we are going to base our conversation on the lowest bid. We are waiting for, as we can attest that our OPM is looking into all of these companies and their credentials, and we should know by, Roger, when would we know by?
I'll let Neil answer that one.
All right, Neil, you're there, aren't you?
he is.
Yes.
I am here, yes.
Okay, our owner's project manager, Neil, why don't you go through what the process is for determining?
So we will, we'll do a detailed review of all of the bid forms and documents that were provided with the contractor's bid. We'll evaluate DCAM evaluations that are available on the top 3 bidders. And we will provide a memo in recommending award to most likely what will be Construction Dynamics Incorporated. And then the committee will have to decide whether or not they choose to accept the alternate, which will affect the bid price.
Okay,
And so Neil, should we schedule a meeting next week to review that memo and make that decision?
Yes, Mary Ann, I'm gonna be out of town at the end of the day tomorrow, returning on Sunday. So I should have time to put it together either Monday or Tuesday. So if we could do something either Tuesday night or Wednesday night of next week, that should be fine.
okay, we'll schedule that at the end of our meeting. Yes,
So I just, in terms of the process, that was a good question. So you, the building committee is gonna be making a recommendation to the select board.
yes.
But we are not approving, we're not making the award until we have Neil's thorough review. Is that correct,
Yes,
Neil?
that's correct, right, Neil?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
And does the MBLC weigh in on this decision at all?
No.
No, okay.
No.
Yeah, we have to make a decision on the alternate.
Yes, we have to make a decision on the alternate. Okay,
And you're talking about the alternate.
The bid alternate.
the bid alternate, yes. Then we have one bid alternate and the prices range. We can talk about that after. Okay, so back to this library funding analysis. Our final total, you'll see on line 4, our final total project costs are $8,983,000. We currently have funded $8,750,674. This is assuming that we are taking the low bid. At this point, that means we are $232,326 in shortfall. What I would like to do is to hear a motion from my committee to request that the select board spend the remaining ARPA funds and earmark funds that the town has. ARPA funds for $63,840, the earmark for $50,623 to be able to go forward with this project.
I want to make an amendment to that. That 63 should be just $60,000.
It should be just,
Mary Ann already spent the 3,000.
okay, Mary Ann, you already spent 3,000. So that should be 60,000.
Just technically, 60,840.
Just 60,000.
Just
60,
60.
yeah,
Just 60,000. I
yeah.
can't do it because it's not my screen that you're looking
Well,
at,
it's
so.
my screen and I can't do it either.
Why can't I do it? Do you have to?
It's not a PDF.
It's not a PDF.
No. Oh, I just, hold on.
you didn't open it.
I only just clicked it.
The one person we can usually count on to be on top of
I
these
don't
things.
use Google in my
Okay.
personal life.
Okay, so there it is, 63,800. Switch that to 60,000.
Perfect.
And then change additional funds,
60,
increase the additional.
What is
funds.
it? Okay.
Yep,
oh, wait, I have the right number. It should be 6840.
Oh, we do want the 840?
Yeah.
Oh, then please put the.
60,000.
It's just 3,000.
Oh, it's just, yeah, okay.
40.
All right.
Wetland
Okay.
specialist.
Okay.
Reduce that 3,000 to 117. Yeah, make that a 120, 863.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so
Thank you.
do I
Can
hear,
we talk about the other $120,000
we will,
after this?
we will after this. Do I hear any motion from my committee?
So moved.
Molly moved it. Do I hear a second? Jeff seconded. Is there any further discussion?
Right, we're asking the select board. Yeah.
Yes, we're
recommend
asking
it.
the select board.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a roll call vote. Antonellis,
Antonellis, aye.
Dalmas,
Aye.
Foster,
Aye.
Poole,
Pool, aye.
Jakes,
Aye.
Moss,
Aye.
Quackenbush,
Aye.
Paleo, aye. The motion is unanimously approved. So we are going to ask the select board to use those funds that they have available to them to go forward with this project. That means we have $120,863 that we do not currently have in our pockets, shall we say. So, is everybody clear in that? We all on the same page here? All right, so, question?
This includes the cost of the well?
Yep,
Yes, it includes the
Yeah.
cost for the well.
it includes the well, this includes the well, this includes, FF&E, and it includes $100,000 for landscaping on top of the landscaping that was in the budget, in the contractor's budget.
So I have a question. So was there any landscaping in that bid?
Yes. So I would say so in the bid, there was, seeding of the open areas, I don't wanna call it lawn areas.
It's the raised septic system, the stormwater detention basins, and the open sort of field area that's not going to be planted with shrubs, trees, or perennials.
Right.
And then it also, if I remember correctly, includes planting trees and shrubs that are at the back end of that would be damaged if we went across that to plant them ourselves. And so it's roughly half of.
I think it was maybe half of the total landscaping and maybe a third of the trees and shrubs.
Right,
Right.
the ones that would be
Right.
harder to do once the site has been seeded and all.
And the ones that were closer to the water, wetlands. To the
Wetlands, yes.
stormwater basins and the,
Yes.
Right.
the
Yes.
raised
The ones where it would be
septic
more
system.
tricky
Right.
to plant them.
Yes. Yes,
So all of the things that are along the road, around the building, and
In the wet meadow.
easily accessible, we as a town will take that on.
yes.
You may get to this, but there's certain items that the grant will pay for, certain items the town pays for.
Exactly.
Where do I see those?
You will see them. Let's see. So, we have the total project cost under column F, the total project cost, $8,625,000. Our estimate when we went out to bid was $6,150,000. The general contractor bid came back at $6,386,000. Then we add the well for $22,000 and landscaping for an extra $100,000. And those come up to the $8,983,000. This is 3.8% over what we expected, which is not bad.
Not bad,
Not bad, not bad at all.
considering.
Yes, considering the environment, and we received 5 bids.
Which is awesome, it is also
Is
good.
awesome, awesome. I mean, some of them were high, but we still received 5 of them. So.
Can you scroll up, do we have George, is the eligible versus ineligible on this spreadsheet?
No.
No, okay, so let me just open a spreadsheet.
You open that spreadsheet.
All right, which I won't, so
While
I'm,
Mariana's doing that, who wanted the names?
Give it to Becky, it's for the minutes.
I don't think my name is on there, I don't have anything to write with.
You can write her name down on it.
Okay, I'll write it in. Trust me.
So
Okay,
can I
so-
go back, I just
Sure.
have another question about the landscaping,
Definitely,
since it's being,
Definitely.
you know, put out there separately. Is that an MBLC requirement, or why are we adding that at this juncture? If it wasn't in the bid?
well, because it's part of the total project cost. So we can't say the project is done until all that landscaping is done, because the landscaping is part of the order of conditions from the Conservation
Okay,
Commission.
that was my question.
We're taking down trees for the project, we have to replace them in accordance with the wetlands protection bylaw.
Okay.
But it is not a requirement by the MLBC, nor does it have to be completed until 3 years?
3 years after the order.
3 years after the order of conditions.
Right.
So we have 3 years to do the landscaping. We will have, hopefully, many volunteers. We will hopefully have many donations of trees and landscaping. And that $100,000 is sitting right now in, we will need it if no one shows up.
Okay.
And
Okay?
is that the 120 that we need to raise? Is that?
That
That is in that
$100,000?
that is in that 120,000, yes.
So what the MBLC, in order to execute the contract, we have to make sure we have the GC that we
Yes.
are happy with, goes through the whole due diligence process, then we can execute a contract, and that would be for the amount, the 6 point, whatever the,
6.386.
okay, great.
The contract is for 6.386. The MBLC is interested in the building, not the landscaping.
And is there a time, what is the time frame on executing that contract?
We need to have that so that the MBLC can sign off on their monies by the end of June.
So, so the estimated ineligible costs are $827,088. So, and then somebody else, what the total project cost is $8,983,000. So the eligible costs are about $8 million, a little bit more than $8 million right now.
Okay, are there any other questions on that?
Of course, on the construction of the well, for example, that 22,000, is that a firm number, or is that like
It's
just?
done.
It's done, okay.
Paid.
It's paid.
Perfect,
It's
that's a
very
very
firm.
firm number.
It's a very firm number, it's gone.
I have another quick question. The earmark money, is that, we were trying to get earmark money, that's that money, that's money we already have?
No, that's the money that you already have.
Right, so we still could get more earmark money theoretically.
We have put in
Maybe.
for a congressionally
Yeah.
directed funding,
Yeah.
which is an earmark, a congressional earmark. We've put in for $250,000 to both Senator Markey and Senator Warren's offices and Congressman McGovern's office. Congressman McGovern put us on his short list. They can only put 15 projects on their short list, and we are on his short list. He gave me a call on Friday and said, you can look on his website, it's there, but we are actually like the second lowest amount that it's being requested, which is a very good thing, because sometimes when somebody is requesting $100 and you're requesting 10 cents, your 10 cents is going to be given to you.
Yeah, right.
So, but he did say that it has to go through with the budget decision, and most probably they are not going to get to a budget until after the election. but that still gives us plenty of
Yeah,
time
it's still possible.
for shelving, for materials, for furniture, for audio equipment, and for landscaping. So we have plenty of time to use that money.
Okay.
We also have 2 other grants in process that we have proposals in for. So we have a lot of requests going out. So it is possible that we won't need everything that we're asking for, but we can't guarantee that.
No, I
and we
understand,
need
yeah.
that to go forward.
Okay, cool, thank you.
Yes.
Related question, what's the source of that current earmark, that 50,623?
That's Joe Comerford.
Joe Comerford.
Joe Comerford's office gave us
specific for the library.
$200,000. She gave us $200,000 in 2022. I think the award came in the year we were voting the library. At that point, we were very much needing the new roof to get funded. And
Of
the
the
select
school.
board of the school, the new roof for the school, and the select board decision was to take the $200,000 and apply it to the new roof. The budget came in for the new roof, so we only had to use we only ended up using about less than 50,000. And then we applied it to the next school project, which ended up coming in at 100,000. So we now have a balance to go to what I think Mary Ann will tell you was its original destination.
Well, and I just want to say that at the time, when the select board suggested that the earmark go to the school roof instead of the library, we thought the library was fully funded. We had just voted and, and we thought it was fully funded. So we were thrilled to have it go to the school roof. But now
we're thrilled
yeah.
to
Yeah.
see that there's a little bit left and we would like some of that back due to her hard work.
So what else do you, does your committee need to review? Because this comes to the next portion of this will be the select board discussing the request for the ARPA funds and the earmark.
Right. Should we do a well update?
Sure.
Okay. So the well was installed. There's a lot of questions about the wells, and we still don't have the final pumping report, but we should have it tomorrow. So the well was installed, and the 24-hour pump test required by the DEP was done in the beginning of April. The well water does not have PFAS, and nor does it have any other contaminants from a whole battery of testing, pages and pages of testing required by DEP, except it does have radon, which exceeds the general safety requirements. So we've proposed a DEP-approved filter for, a carbon filter, point of entry filter to filter the radon. And that filter, while the well does not have PFAS now, it was non-detect for PFAS. That filter will also filter out PFAS because it's a carbon filter. And then, things that, might discolor the water like iron or things like that, that just are sort of natural things that happen in bedrock wells. So it's really good news, and we'll have that final report, which goes to the DEP for the permit application, hopefully tomorrow. They keep saying tomorrow, but I think tomorrow is really going to be the day. And then we'll post it on the building website.
And then the next step after that is DEP approves.
Permits it, yes.
The well.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to give an update? Should we give an update about the orders of conditions, the 3 special conditions that we're working on?
I would love to have that.
Okay.
So the order of conditions means that we have been working with the Conservation Commission concerning the site. And I think, Penny, you have the most breadth of knowledge there.
Okay. we were required in the order of conditions to provide 3 plans to the Conservation Commission before a building contract, or before,
before
before a building contract.
before the beginning of construction.
Right. The first one was, oh gosh, I'm sorry.
The trash.
Right, we had to prepare a trash and debris removal plan, and Marianne, Elaine, and I scoured the property and mapped all of the trash and debris and presented that with photographs to the commission, and they approved the plan, and we're starting some of the trash removal tomorrow, and it should be done within a few weeks. So that's number one. The second one is an invasive species management plan. We hired Brian Colleran to prepare the plans. Marianne and I did a site visit with him. The good news is he felt most of the invasive plants can be dealt with volunteers. But there are a few places that need more attention, and he is preparing a plan. I just received it today. I haven't had a chance to look at it, but hopefully it we'll submit it by Thursday to the Concom, and they will review it at their meeting next week. And the third plan is the landscape maintenance plan, which I received Friday. I think it still needs a little bit of work, but I think we'll be able to submit that by Thursday and have that discussed by the commission at their meeting next week as well.
Great. Wayne, I do see Bob with his hand up as a FinCom member. Oh, as a FinCom member. Okay, Bob.
Oh, hi.
You have your hand up?
Thank you. Right. Can you hear me?
Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
Oh, good. 2 questions. One, as a member of the FinCom, I'd like to know if the select board is to discuss and vote on this motion made by the Library Building Committee tonight, or is that going to wait for the Neil Joyce's report before that's discussed? Number one. Number two, I'm curious of what the square footage for this building is. Looking at these numbers, they're pretty large. I'd like to know what the size of the building is, if that information is available. But first, I'd like to know whether or not the FinCom is here to, presumably, to weigh in on this proposal, and whether the select board is going to entertain that proposal tonight or not. Thank you.
Thank you. We were going to ask the FinCom to discuss it now, since you are here. We were going to.
Well, typically what we do is we would make the recommendation, and then the FinCom.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I'm sorry. I thought it went the other way around, that they would make a recommendation and you do it.
Yeah, either way.
Can I answer the square footage question? Because
Sure.
that's an easy one.
That's an easy one.
So the square footage of the building, and this is off the top of my head, Bob, is 4,530 square feet.
Yes, same as my head.
That's good.
Not that we haven't memorized it, but.
Yes.
Could you say that one more time?
4,530 square feet.
Thank you very much.
Or the footprint?
That's the footprint.
The footprint, yes.
The footprint.
So how
It's
would
your
you like
pleasure.
to do it? How would you like to do it? Would you like the FinCom?
Sure, we can let the FinCom go.
All right.
Yeah. Has the FinCom called itself to order?
Yes, they have.
Okay.
FinCom?
AJ's, their chair is online.
AJ, are you there?
Hi, folks. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, great. Sorry to not be there in person, by the way. I'm, as you can see, I'm in my car, but I'm pulled over. It sounds to me like what the FinCom needs to do is weigh in on the specific recommendation to allocate remaining ARPA funds and earmark funds. That's the specific decision that's being made tonight. Does that sound right to folks?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. So I guess what I would do is make a motion, and we can entertain comments from FinCom members, but I'll go ahead just to get the ball rolling and make a motion to recommend transfer or utilization of remaining ARPA funds and state earmark funds for the purpose of the new library construction project.
Second.
Okay, so I think we've got a couple seconds. So do any FinCom members want to ask questions or weigh in with comments about whether that sounds like an appropriate and useful decision for the town to be making? All right, so I see April, so I'm going to go to April and then Bob.
Yes, thank you. I think it would be a really good use of the funds. And I'm also wondering if there's any of the FinCom reserve funds that could be added as well. I believe we have a significant amount to last us to the end of June. And that's just something I was wondering. I think it was 70,000, I could be wrong. But no. What is, yeah.
I've got the number. I'll pull it up and it'll just take me a second. We've got $40,314 remaining.
So I guess I'm wondering if through this discussion, if we could consider adding that to offset the cost of the project.
This is George speaking. That's not an option. We can't do that. FinCom reserve funds are strictly for covering overages in the current operating budget, and we can't transfer FinCom reserves outside of anything that was approved in the operating budget to any lines that were not approved in the operating budget for fiscal 24 in this case.
It was a thought.
That was a good thought.
Bob, you have your hand up?
How about Bob?
Yeah, hi, thank you. I just want to weigh in on this. Thank you for that information, George. That accords with my understanding as well. On this ARPA and earmark, I think I've supported for a long time using ARPA money for the school. I supported using ARPA money for the roof project. Also, I very much supported the notion of providing the school with a whole building ventilation and filtration system, which would really improve the health of our students and our staff there. And I think that the money, the ARPA money, the proper use of the money, regardless of whether the Biden administration has now just made it completely up to the towns how to spend it. When it was first issued, they had very specific projects which should be funded with it. And most of those projects had to do with public education. And I still think that that's where the money should go through a filtration system. And as far as the earmark, well, similarly, the earmark was the product of Becky and others who applied to our representatives in the State House to help us with the roof and to help us with repairs and improvements on our school. And that's what the money was meant for. And I still think that money should go to that kind of project, which we're going to continue to fund after this round of improvements and repairs is complete. So I don't support transferring that to the library. It doesn't really make sense to me. The library project, if it needs more money, that should go through the process of raising money from the town meeting as usual. So that's my point of view on this request. Thank you.
Jay, George has his hand up here in the room.
Yeah. Go ahead, George.
Yeah, so to respond to the ARPA, first of all, I think everybody needs to be aware that we have to earmark, we have to vote on how we're going to use the ARPA funds by the end of this month, or we don't get to spend them at all. So I don't think the finance, right, that's a correct statement, right?
I haven't, they might have extended.
They might have extended it. Okay, well, my concern is if we don't apply to something now, we're gonna lose it. So that's number one concern. Number two concern, we've got all the capital items that have been brought to us through this fiscal year funded. So I don't really see any need for those right now. It's not to say that DARPA couldn't be helpful somewhere else, but I think this is a great place to put it. Ultimately, if more money does come in, we might even be able to lower our loan on this building if we were to get that $250,000, for instance. So, you know, I think this is a good use of the ARPA funds, and I am concerned about losing it. As far as the earmark goes, didn't I hear somebody say originally the earmark was for the library building?
Yes, Mary Ann wrote the request.
So then I support
library.
using the earmark funds. So I support using both of those. My personal recommendation is that vote for you to make the transfer.
Jay,
Okay.
Susie has.
All right, Susie, go ahead.
This project has been voted strongly by the town, both in the political vote and in the money vote for the override, and we are within finishing distance. And these funds that we're looking at are appropriately used to help finish this project, and the work to keep this project under control has been significant. So I support having the ARPA fund and the earmark that was intended for the library to be spent.
Okay, I'll just chime in really quickly on some of the concerns that Bob raised. I mean, I don't see personally the logic to us imposing additional restrictions on ourselves that are not being imposed by the entities that have awarded us those funds. So, you know, if I received a grant for my organization, I wouldn't feel compelled to apply additional restrictions on how we use those funds that are beyond what the entities restrictions are that have awarded the fund. So I would, I'm not persuaded that would be like a great idea. And then the alternative is for us to utilize, you know, cash reserves. And so I think this current plan seems to make sense to me. So I'm inclined to approve it, or to recommend approval of it. Are there any other FinCom members that wanted to chime in before we take a vote on this?
Yes, Jim.
I can't necessarily see everybody in the room. So is there anybody in the room that has their hand up?
Yes, Jim Walton.
Okay, go ahead. Jim Walton, go ahead.
Comment regarding, I think there was something thrown out there about other possible projects, and those projects aren't fully vetted, defined, approved, and whatnot. And here we have a project that's up, ready to go. It is going forward. You know, regarding these other potential future projects, we can review those once they are approved and decide how they should be funded. And maybe there's future ARPAs or future whatevers that could be part of those future projects. But I think for now we should focus on the projects that are defined and are ready to move forward.
Anybody else in the room from FinCom?
No.
Okay, so I think we're ready to take. I think we're ready to take a vote then. If we want to vote in our usual order, George, if you can kick us off.
Carbonitis, aye.
Groves, nay. Hemingway, nay.
All right, Cashew, aye.
Mosier, aye.
Stein, aye.
Walton, aye.
All right, so I think that was 5-2. Did I count that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I think as far as the FinCom's concerned, I'm not sure if there's anything else, any other action for us to take tonight, but I'm still going to be in the meeting muted. So I think I guess maybe I actually do have one question, which is there was some discussion of a backup bid that will be selected at some point. And I'm wondering if at a future FinCom develop a plan or a proposal for how the project would be funded if we had to pursue that backup bid. Or is that something we would just tackle at a later date if and when it turns out that we need to utilize that?
I'm not quite sure if you're speaking of the different construction bids or when we talked about alternate bids, because the alternate were add-ons to our original project. And so we had the construction companies giving us a bid for the project plus a bid for an alternate in the event that we lived in Fairyland and their bids came in so low that we could do both, which
Understood. That,
yeah.
okay, so that was my misunderstanding. When you were referring to an alternate bid, I thought that meant a backup bid. So scratch what I just said. All right, thanks, everybody.
Hopefully, we're going to be able to accept this bid from Construction Dynamics for $6,386,000. This is a group that Neil has worked with recently and hopefully has vetted well, and everything will come out as we hope. So we're not looking at anything else right now. We're looking at our low bid.
Got it. Great. Thank you.
Yep.
Yes, it's back to us.
So it's back to you, the select board.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, does the select board have, well, I suppose we should make a motion before we talk about it. So do we hear a motion for the use of ARPA funds and earmark funds to do the shortfall for the library?
I make a motion that we approve $60,000 in ARPA funds.
$60,840.
That's $60,840 in ARPA funds and $50,623 in our earmark to be dedicated towards the new Shutesbury Library.
Okay, do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion or questions?
I say, let's do it.
Okay. All right. All those in
Getting a
favor?
library. Farrell, aye.
Stalker, aye.
Makepeace, O'Neill, aye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Of course, that still does mean that we have $120,863 that we are going to need to raise before the end of the project. I'd like to invite you all to the lasagna dinner on Friday. I'd like to invite you all to clean out your garages and then come and join in the tag sale.
Which is, the date is?
Sunday, June 16th.
June 16th.
Father's Day.
Father's Day. I'd like to invite you all to come to the Roadtown Turkey Trot next
It's the Saturday before Thanksgiving.
Saturday before Thanksgiving.
That's
And
library funding?
it's library funding. Oh, yes, it's special library funding, the turkey trot. How much did we raise from the turkey trot last year?
I think we profited $13,000.
$13,000 last year, and that was our inaugural year. So keep it in mind, folks, and there will be library giving days, and there will be projects of landscaping to help with this, but I think we are over the finish line. Now the big question is going to be, when do we get the shovels and when are we going to break ground?
Well, so first we have to sign a
We have to sign the contract, yes.
And then we have, and then we'll, and then we'll schedule that at the first meeting, probably.
Okay, so let's schedule a meeting for next week. Let's see, next week, Tuesday is the 11th.
That's an all boards meeting.
It's an all boards meeting. How about Wednesday, the 12th?
Yeah, Kate still has a question.
Oh, Kate, yes, you have a question.
I'll wait till you're done, thanks.
Okay, thank you.
The 12th works for me. Neil, does the 12th work for you? Wednesday the 12th?
You're on mute, Neil.
I believe the 12th is fine.
Roger, is the 12th work for you?
I believe so.
Okay.
Dominic, does the 12th work for you?
Yes, it does.
By the way, Dominic, hi, and congratulations to us all.
Okay. And then
Yes.
Heather and Andrea, does the 12th work for you, or one of you at least? I see Heather there.
It does. It works for me.
Oh, great, thank you. Okay. And then
the committee, is there anyone
It
on the
doesn't work
committee?
for you?
It doesn't work for you?
I'm out of town.
Okay, we have one member out of town.
I'm available.
You're available, Penny?
Penny?
I'm sorry, I was so busy taking notes.
The 12th, are you available? Dale, are you available on the 12th?
Yes.
Stephen Dalmas?
Stephen?
I'm available.
Okay,
Mullen?
No.
Alex is home for a whole week, and it's
Okay.
his last evening at home. So
all right, so we have 2 members that are not available. Are you okay with going ahead without? Okay. All right,
So
We are-
just, let's be clear, what's happening at that meeting?
we are going to sign a contract.
You don't sign a
I
contract.
mean, I'm sorry.
Just
What, you think that I have all the power.
Forgetting
No,
about availability
we-
It wasn't signed.
We're going to recommend to
Okay.
you, so would you like to make it a joint meeting?
Yeah, I am
I'm not here.
only available,
I'm out of town.
yeah, and I'm only available until 6:30.
I'm available.
All
All right, so the question is, do we change the day?
Are you gone that whole week?
I'm gone the 12th to the 16th or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Noontime meeting.
So now that we went through all you
Yeah.
guys, and you need us,
yeah.
can we?
No, they don't
But we don't have to
you
do it at the same
there.
time.
We don't,
No,
what's that?
you can vote, I mean, you can, they're gonna recommend it, and
Yeah.
then you can act on their recommendation when you can meet.
Okay.
But
I mean, it holds at the
the
contract.
MLBC needs to have this contract signed
By June 30th.
by when?
We need it, we have to have the payment ready to go by June 21st.
So either we do it on the 11th or the,
What about earlier in the day on the 11th?
Yeah, you could do, because it's a 6
Oh, but
o'clock.
Neil needs time to get his
Oh.
stuff ready. But you leave what time on the 12th?
I mean, 5 o'clock, I don't know, 6, or early. I'm going to
In the
Pennsylvania.
morning,
Yeah.
okay.
okay,
all right.
so what, the two of us, I'm
Yeah.
available earlier if you can.
It
work
depends
home.
on if I can work at home and sneak out.
Or 5 o'clock.
Or we do
Yeah, I can do
a
5 o'clock.
6 AM meeting.
Well, I get up at 5, you're welcome to have a 5:30 meeting if you want.
Right, I mean, we can.
I can go
work with your
earlier in the
schedule.
day, just not, I don't wanna be.
Yeah, I can make, I
You don't wanna
can
be
try, I
bumping
can, yeah,
into it,
I can adjust.
We could do it at
but-
5 o'clock.
I don't wanna do a
Oh,
five
yeah, I can do it.
Wednesday.
You don't want to do, wait a minute, could you do a 5 o'clock in the afternoon meeting?
If it's only gonna be an hour,
Yeah.
It's only going to be an hour.
yeah, then I might do it from home.
I promise, oh, yes, absolutely.
And that's the 12th?
The 12th, 5 PM on the 12th.
Neil, does that work for you?
Does that work for you? Neil?
Should be fine.
Okay.
I might be able to even probably zoom into that. I don't know.
Yeah,
It
you
doesn't
can
matter.
zoom,
Doesn't really
you can
matter
zoom
what I'm
into
doing.
it.
As long as somebody else is driving.
Yeah,
You're gonna
no,
be there.
I'll be at the
You'll be there.
destination in question.
Okay,
Hey,
so
please,
5 PM.
We can start on you.
5 PM on the 12th,
Wednesday,
Wednesday, June 12th.
excuse me, we'd like to adjourn our finance committee meeting. I think that's what AJ's hands up for.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Exactly,
AJ.
Bob. No problem. I just, I don't think we actually officially adjourned. So I'm going to go ahead and adjourn the FinCom.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
for being here.
All right. Congratulations.
Thank you. Is it a roll call vote to adjourn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
George, you want to start us off?
Did.
He did.
Great.
Mr. Groves.
Bob Burnett.
He might have left.
Fine.
Okay. All right, Jim?
Yeah, yes, I'm in favor of that adjournment.
Cashew, aye.
Close your eye.
Stein, aye.
Walton, aye?
Thank you for being here with
FinCom's
us.
adjourned. Okay.
And keep
Okay, you're welcome. Take care, everyone.
Thank you.
I can come.
Okay, I see Kate is still there. She's patient. I know she's patient. She's been waiting a long time for this. So is there anything more that we need to discuss about funding and the project right now? Mary Ann, do you think of anything? Neil, can you think of anything more that we need to discuss on the funding issue?
Just, no, I think we're good.
Okay, do we need to discuss anything about the alternate bids?
At the time that you make the award to the general contractor, you'll have to identify whether the town wishes to include the alternate in the scope of the project or whether it declines the alternate. And that's a decision that can be made, I assume, at the building committee level when we next meet.
Okay.
As long as it's no.
As long as it's no, okay.
Because if you fund it, then we all have to meet again.
Correct,
Maybe.
correct. All right. All right, so we're gonna move on from funding issues. And now, Kate, if you have something you would like to say.
Yes, thank you. On behalf of the Board of Library Trustees, I would like to thank the building committee, the professionals who've joined us, the select board, the FinCom, the Friends of the Library, the town of Shutesbury, our representatives who've supported us, and Mary Ann Antonellis. And it's been a long time coming, and I am so fortunate to serve as the spokesperson for the board so that I get to be the one to thank as many people as I possibly can. If I didn't thank everyone I should have, please forgive me. I include you all in my prayers and in my heart. And I would like to take a roll call vote to adjourn the Board of Library Trustees. I'm going to ask in order, I really difficult for me because I can't see who's here. Brad Foster.
Aye.
Michelle Reganland. Mel De Silva.
Aye.
Elizabeth Murphy.
Aye.
I'm sorry, I'm forgetting someone and I.
Yeah.
Pam, I'm so sorry, Pam Azowski, I beg your pardon.
Aye.
And I also say aye. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, I would like to entertain public comment now since we have time. Is there anyone from the public that would like to make a comment? Gail?
I would just like to thank this committee for all the hard work and the beautiful organization and perseverance through every step along the way, for making this happen, for bringing us through with understanding, for clarity to us to understand what's going on behind the scenes. It has been a real gift to this community, and I thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else who would like to speak? Have a question that we didn't address? I'm sure there'll be lots of questions and lots of things to discuss, so stay tuned to our meetings, and we will keep putting out announcements as much as possible. Okay, so back to our, sorry,
I move we table the minutes until the next meeting.
Yeah. Okay, we will table. I second that motion. I second that motion. Roll call vote, please.
Antonellis, aye.
Stephen?
Dalmas, aye.
Foster, aye.
Poole, aye.
Penny?
Jake's aye. Moss aye.
Kaleo, aye. I don't hear any more business. Is there any more business?
No.
Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I move.
Brad, moves to adjourn. Do I hear a second?
Antonella's second. Oh, you're taking it.
Okay.
Antonella's aye.
Thomas, I.
Pool eye.
Jake's eye, Moss eye.
Paleo, aye. Thank you, everyone.
Great, thank you,
We're
building
there.
committee.
Thank you, Dominic.
Thank you, everybody.
Dominic, yes.
Congratulations.
And Neil, thank you so much, Neil and Roger.
Neil, you too. Yes, Neil, thank you.
Welcome.
Buddy.
Oh, I might take down the meeting. You
No,
guys-
no, we haven't
Oh, we're
adjourned
not
yet.
done.
What, you haven't adjourned. I just wanted to talk a little bit about scheduling, because I have one about the agenda for the 17th.
Okay, let me move closer.
Yeah.
Anywhere, you know, it's cookies. Can get away.
No, stepping
Just keep growing.
We went to bid again, and bid would be the 20th.
That's a lot of work to get to that point. I know.
And the sleepless nights waiting for this to come
It'll
in.
either be the same or lower or
2 o'clock, I
higher.
don't know if you heard, at 2 o'clock,
And
we
then,
signed
okay,
in, and the project office.
No,
Because they wait till last minute.
Yeah.
It was 2 o'clock.
I know, they wait till last minute.
you know, like,
And we freaked out, and Mary had closed it, then opened it again about 5 early.
and,
Well, probably because they had to post or something, so.
I mean, maybe, you know,
It's all
so.
electronic.
I know, well, but the shelving is an eligible cost.
I'm not in town, 17th or on July 2nd.
So say if the shelving is
I
100,000.
can participate in the June 7th.
So, yeah, but we might, we'll, yeah, we'll have to see.
Well, we can always do
Yeah.
this, and then, yeah, do it.
Yeah. But we'll bring it.
Okay, skip. We skipped.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That would
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, somebody will pay.
Okay, can everybody clear out so the select board can finish our meeting?
Okay, guys, we need space in here. Bye. Bye. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, and I never. Okay, good.
Sarah, right?
Yeah, so BZ can get something.
I know how it works, thanks.
Yeah, I'm just giving Brad a cookie, too.
I just had one.
All right.
Okay, everybody out.
All right.
Bye, thank you, Mary, for bringing the cookies.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so, okay. So I just said to Melissa that I am not, I'm actually physically out of town on both June 17th and July 2nd. The June 17th meeting, I can participate remotely, and I know it's a big meeting, so I just thought, we could run through what the agenda is, not that it's gonna make any difference, but what were we doing on the 17th?
Well, we've got the appointments and we have PAFs. So, I mean, it's more in getting prepared for it. It's
Okay.
not as much
Okay.
of in-depth activity.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
good.
so you
All right,
guys-
so that's, so if I'm remote, it's not gonna be a problem.
I don't think so. No,
Okay,
you should be fine.
all right. And then, can we possibly, instead of meeting on July 2nd, meet on July 9th? So go 3 weeks, is there gonna be any problem Is there anything else that's really pressing? We've done all the appointments and everything by.
It's just, if there's a contract, you know, and we just want to be sure the library contract is settled, and it should be before that. Because they're talking about, so we might be able to do it on the 17th. That's my hope, that is, or before, if we schedule a separate meeting.
Yeah, it's supposed to always be separate.
Oh, the 12th,
The 12th is that day. We already scheduled it.
right, but we don't know, I mean, that's for,
Them to recommend the contract to us if they choose that
Yeah.
first one.
well, they're just doing the award letter there. They're just doing the award, and then the contract falls, but it should be okay to do the contract right on the heels of the award.
Right.
Especially if it's the select board signing, we send it out to us. So we could potentially do that on the
Or maybe we
12th.
could figure that out about the contract, because
Or the
we could always
17th.
do, we could always do a meeting that last week in June.
Right.
Like the 24th or
But
something.
they need the contract, they need the money by the 21st.
Yeah.
So they want the
Oh,
contract
okay.
as close to the 12th as they
Oh,
can
I
get it.
see, okay.
It's just
All right.
whether Neil will
We
have.
could do an award letter and a
Yes.
contract in the same time. I know
I
that's
think so.
possible. I
Yeah.
know that's possible.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
Here's
not
your award
normal,
letter,
but-
and I'm following it up with a contract.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you want to sign it first? No problem.
So Neil, you're still here? Oh, shoot, he just left. Okay, all right, fine, as long as that works.
Yeah.
17th
Said
is.
you would have to end this, somebody should end this meeting, right?
No,
We're
we're
still
not.
set.
We still have a meeting.
Meeting
haven't
until
Okay,
finished.
that's fine.
we have to
Okay.
adjourn.
We didn't adjourn.
Okay.
Okay, so I think we're good then.
Actually,
Becky, you're not in there. It's okay, I'm the one who's in there now.
yeah, but you're co-host, so you.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, okay, that's all I needed to, I just wanted to make sure on the schedule.
Okay, so then we'll move to July 9th, not the 2nd.
Yeah.
And everybody's okay with that?
Unless, yeah. Are you
Okay.
guys okay with that?
July 9th should be fine for me.
Yeah, okay.
theoretically.
Great, thank you.
So that means the July 4th week, you can all go boating.
Yeah. Go to Minnesota.
We must have lakes in Minnesota.
They do.
now.
They have lots of lakes in Minnesota.
Wow, that's what it's all about.
Land of 10,000
Okay,
acres.
I make a
I
motion
think
that
so.
we
Although
adjourn.
Maine, I think, is.
Okay, now the meeting is
Meeting's
adjourned,
adjourned?
Melissa?
So do I hear a motion to adjourn?
And-
So moved.
Second?
Second,
Okay, all those in favor?
Carol, aye.
Dr. Rai.
Make peace, O'Neill, aye. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
Great, all right.